Thursday night. No, it's Wednesday night. What the hell am I saying? It's Wednesday night, May 15th, 2024, and wanted to go live. Tried to do it through, let me tell you something. I got this streaming service, Be Live TV. If anyone's looking for a streaming service, take anything but Be Live TV. It is the biggest piece of shit streaming service there is. It didn't let me log in. It wouldn't let me use any of the features I have to go between YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. In fact, I'm calling this company tomorrow. I'm telling them, canceling your service. Your company sucks. It's a terrible streaming service. I used to have StreamYard, and it was much better. I'm switching back to StreamYard, so apologies for everyone that got a notice on Facebook. Listen, you got to come to YouTube. Facebook is not a place to live stream. It's shitty too. So come here. As you can see, I'm in a mood. I'm already cursing. I'm already in a mood. Let me just get to the rant. The first rant is about the debates. So I don't know if you saw it today, but apparently Joe Biden issued this debate thing because he's desperate. He's fallen behind in the polls and everything. So he issues this debate to Donald Trump, and he says, look, I'll debate you anytime, anywhere, man. Come on, let's do it. Show up, man. Man, be this, baby. Yeah, whatever. I got you. I'll be back, and throwing out these stupid phrases or whatever. And Trump jumps on it, and they're going to do it, I think, on CNN and ABC. Doesn't matter where it's going to be. Here's the problem with the debate. The next person that tells me our democracy or anything is at stake, and Joe Biden and the Democrats are fighting for our soul of the democracy, save it. Do me a favor. Save it and blow it out your ass. Because without RFK Jr. on stage, and this is one of Biden, by the way, this was one of Biden's stipulations. He didn't want RFK Jr. anywhere near the debates. And the reason he doesn't want RFK Jr. anywhere near the debates is because he knows RFK Jr. is automatically the smartest guy on stage who could keep it going. He knows Donald Trump is going to have diarrhea in the mouth and do what he did at the last debate and wind up being a disaster. And it's going to cover his flaws. He didn't want anyone on debate. And here's the thing. What kind of democracy do you have where the third candidate, who is polling just as high as the other two, and in fact, 70% of the people don't want a Trump-Biden rematch? What kind of democracy do you have when you don't want all of the candidates in the debate? And here's another thing. Hold on, let me fix this camera here for a second. There we go. Here's another thing. When it comes to anybody going against wanting a third party, I've seen this mainly on the liberal media. Whenever I see someone say, you know what, we're all for third parties, just not this year. Then when? When is it okay to actually have a democracy where you have multiple parties? Because right now, here's what you had. You had Joe Biden not get primaried. We weren't even going to let that happen. No one was, you're not allowed to touch Joe Biden, put him in safety glass. That's it, he's fine. Donald Trump doesn't show up for debates on the Republican side. They let everyone else basically play Hunger Games and cancel each other out. And then we're left with these two. Meanwhile, the third party candidate who is actually going out talking to people, okay? He's not in court. He's not hiding in a basement like the other guy being protected by all of his handlers. He's actually out talking to anybody and everybody, but we're not going to let that guy in a debate. And you're going to say, we're fighting for the soul of our democracy? Get the fuck out of here with that. So that's the first thing with the debate. As far as where it's going to be with moderators, and look, if you have confidence in what and who you are, I don't care who the moderator is. I'll be honest. In fact, give Joe Biden the questions in advance. I'll say, here, you know what? Jake Tapper and whoever else from CNN and people at ABC, give Joe Biden the questions in advance. Let him prep in advance. I don't need these questions. Let him have them. That's what I would say. Because you know what? If I'm Donald Trump, I'm going in going, border, inflation, wars. What else you want to talk about? What else you want to talk about? Your border's a disaster. Inflation, and by the way, people don't understand the way inflation works either. And he's lying about it, saying it was 9% when he took office. It was 1.4%. Inflation is cumulative. And a lot of people don't understand what that means. What do you mean by cumulative, Vince? Meaning it's not what it is at that moment. It's what it is over the course of time that Joe Biden's been in office. So as it goes up and down, it's a cumulative effect. So if it starts at 1.4 and makes its way up to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to 9, and then slowly starts coming back 8, 7, 6, 5. It's not, well, now it's only 5%. Look, we cut it down. It's 3% now. We slashed 2/3 of inflation rate. No. Over the course of 4 years, the inflation is a cumulative effect of what it was. So actual inflation is something like 19% under Joe Biden when you look at the cumulative effect. So if I'm Trump, it's border, inflation, foreign wars. The things that you told me I was going to be bad at, which is foreign wars, you suck at, okay? Inflation, where's your Bidenomics? And the border's a disaster. Okay. Anyway, putting that aside, I think the debate, as soon as I see RFK not on stage, it's bullshit. It is a bullshit debate, and I don't want to hear the fight for the soul of democracy anymore. End of story. Next thing I want to touch on. So there's this portal in New York City that you could see Dublin. If you look through the portal, and people in Dublin can see to New York. And the way it worked out was if you said something or flashed a picture or whatever, people could see it, and then they could see it back on the other side in real time. And people started putting up really horrific shit. So somebody in Dublin put up a picture of the World Trade Center burning. And apparently that wasn't enough for anyone to shut it down. Then they put up, someone on the New York City side put up a picture of potatoes showing the potato famine to mock the people in Dublin. So then it became a who's going to outdo who with the insult thing. Okay, great, whatever. None of that bothered anybody enough to shut this thing down. 9/11, potato famine, insults back and forth. Then a woman flashes her boobs from New York City to Dublin, and that was it. Shut it down. Nope. Nudity. Now, mind you, this is an adult woman, not forced, made a voluntary thing and flashed boobs. Okay. Everybody, Google boobs. Turn your internet safe search off. Google boobs, and you will be flooded with the amount of pictures of bare naked breast, whether it be subtle, whether it be classy, whether it be pornographic, all over the place. But somehow, some way, this image of a woman flashing her boobs in real time was shut it down. The 9/11 insult, no. The potato famine, no. Shut it. But here's the irony of the whole thing. 50 blocks away, 2 days ago, they were having a trial in which Stormy Daniels, I'm going to get to why they call her Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels was testifying in the trial of Donald Trump's hush money. Mind you, the trial is an accounting trial. It's about whether or not the money that Donald Trump used was used in a way that was campaign financing, and whether that violated the financing laws and what type of accounting entry was put in. Everyone knows he paid off a porn star. There's no question about it. Everyone knows he paid hush money, $140,000. No question about it. So the fact that they had to put Stormy Daniels on the stand to talk about what happened in the hotel room is so immaterial to the case. But you know what? CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, every mainstream media outlet was down there, and they were salivating at the salaciousness of what happened in that hotel room, which we heard. We've heard this story, but still they want. So you want to hear about the salaciousness of that, but 50 blocks away, if a woman flashes her boob, shut it down. This is how full of shit our media and country has become at what outrages us and yet what doesn't outrage us. Now, really quick on the trial, because I haven't hit on this yet. For the Trump people out there and for the Biden people out there, be prepared, buckle up, because I'm going to piss all of you off right now. This trial about this $140,000 accounting error, okay? If you really have that much animus towards Trump that you want this guy to go to jail for that, yet you're not in the slightest bit curious about the Sam Bankman-Fried trial where he funneled money through Ukraine back to the DNC, that doesn't bother you at all, you've got a problem. If you have a problem with Donald Trump and that $140,000 payment, but you're not concerned about what Ilhan Omar is doing with whatever family member she married, you've got a problem. If you have a problem with Donald Trump and his $140,000 and not what Republicans and Democrat senators have been doing for decades with insider trading, what Bob Menendez has been doing with favors, triple, quadruple, almost 10 times the amount of what Donald Trump and his $140,000 payoff. If then you know what? This is all about you hating Donald Trump. And it's got nothing to do with justice. So get off of it, okay? Because wanting this guy to go to jail for that and not wanting everyone else to go to jail for all the other crap that they're doing in the Senate with Halliburton, insider trade, Pfizer, the entire COVID, all of the money that we got from COVID, the upward transfer of wealth that went to billionaires, that billionaires became even richer during COVID with all of this money that they were printing like crazy, and poor people got poorer. You're worried about that $140,000? Get off of it. Now, for the Trump people, all of these things that Trump's going through, self-inflicted wounds. Because plain and simple, you can't be a Trump supporter and talk about how amazing Melania is as a first lady. Oh my God, Melania, the most amazing first woman ever. Melania Trump is beautiful. She's intelligent. She speaks all of these languages. She's so incredible. She's so great. You can't love Melania Trump and at the same time justify her husband screwing a porn star right after she had a kid and then paying hush money because it would embarrass him. Because as a man, you've got to say, you know what? You marry somebody like that, you be honorable. You be an honorable, faithful husband. Because if you can cheat on your wife after she has a kid, who's to say you're not going to cheat on your country? Who's to say you're not going to screw anybody else over? So you can't have it both ways, MAGA people. You can't love Melania Trump and then defend Donald Trump for having an affair. And people, oh, Vin, you know what? He's a billionaire. They all do it. This and that. Yeah, really? Do they all do it? Every single one of them out there is doing it. You mean to tell me there's no men of honor out there not having affairs? Because I don't remember Ronald Reagan having an affair. For as much as I can't stand George W. Bush, I don't remember him having an affair. Yeah, Clinton did what he did. I don't remember George Herbert Bush having an affair. And for as much as people hate Obama, I didn't hear anything about Obama having an affair. Oh, Vinny was having gay sex with people, this and that. Allegedly, long before his marriage. Okay, so look, you can't have it both ways. These are self-inflicted wounds. And then don't have sex with a porn star and then call her horse face and everything else after the fact. Okay? Look, own what you did. You screwed up, own it. You know what? I had an affair. I paid her hush money. Tell the truth once and for all. Say it didn't come from finance money. Cohen did it. And that's another thing. People put it, it's amazing how liberals hang their hat on anybody that will go after Donald Trump. Scaramucci was press secretary. Everybody hated him. Became a disgraced press secretary, went after Trump. We loved him. Michael Avenatti, remember that was Stormy Daniels. We got to get the Stormy Daniels name. Her former lawyer. They loved this guy. Oh my God. He was amazing. Yeah, look at where he is in jail now. Anybody that hates Donald Trump, they'll latch on to. Michael Cohen, they hated him. As soon as he became a scorned lover, oh man, did they go after him. And they're like, come on our side, brother. We got you. You're one of us. And you see this all the time. Look, even Chris Cuomo, who was a CNN guy, all of a sudden he went from being a CNN guy to now he's a moderate calling out the COVID vaccine. Get the fuck out of here, this guy too. So, when you look at this trial, you got to look at it from every which way. It's a nonsense trial with regards to this $140,000 payment that they can't tie to a crime. But at the same time, you know what? The reason you're there, Donald Trump, self-inflicted wound, okay? You're married, you had an affair, you tried to pay somebody off. If you were an honorable guy and you never had an affair, never cheated on your wife with a porn star, you wouldn't be there, would you? Anyway, getting to the Stormy Daniels thing, something that a comic who I have tremendous respect for, comedic actress, Desi Lydic said, you know what's amazing? How they keep referring to her as Stormy Daniels. And I thought, as soon as she said that, I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's weird. Her name is Stephanie Clifford. But the news media, no way. And it's incredible. All of the feminists out there, all of the people that, women's rights and equality and this and that, they're all calling her Stormy Daniels. Nobody's saying, hey, guys, that's her stage name. Call her by her real name, Stephanie Clifford. Show some respect. Nobody's saying it. The only person that said it is Desi Lydic from The Daily Show when she was on Colbert. She said her name is Stephanie Clifford. And think about it. If you had male porn stars on trial, and it's like, hey, everybody, Big Dick Joe is on trial. No, they say, no, that's Brad Smith or whatever his real name is. The fact that they keep referring to her as Stormy Daniels, her porn star name, just shows you how much they love this. They love this salaciousness. They get off on this in the media. This is, oh man, they can't get enough of this. So that's the trial. That's the portal situation. That's the debate. Other stuff that's going on in terms of tone deaf. Antony Blinken is in Ukraine. Actually stood up with the Ukrainian flags behind him and said, there will not be an election in Ukraine until Russia is out of this country and we know that every Ukrainian can vote. Here's a question. Why is our Secretary of State going to another country talking about how and when they hold elections? Think about that. Our Secretary of State is in a sovereign nation telling everybody when and how they will hold elections. Then goes to a club in Kiev because remember, we can't have elections in Russia, in Ukraine because the Russians are invading. There's a war going on. We have to send $2 more billions to help them protect themselves. Goes to a club, takes out electric guitar and starts doing karaoke. You want to talk about tone deaf? Is that as tone deaf as you? Here you are going to Israel a war, Ukraine a war, but you got enough time to be on camera, jamming, playing, rocking in a free world? Free world. In a world where we're involved with supporting two wars? I mean, I don't know how much more tone deaf we could actually get than that as a nation. I mean, this is what we look like. How can you take this country serious when we have a presidential debate where the president says, just me and you, not the third party candidate, and also not in public? I don't find that not in public thing to be a big deal, but it's amazing that the president of the United States is scared to death of the people he governs. One. Two, we have this faux outrage over this portal and this woman flashing her boobs like it was the most horrific thing that anyone's ever seen. 50 blocks away, porn star who is being called her porn star name. We want all the details of that though. And then we have, us. And here's the other thing, by the way, Antony Blinken, here's the interesting thing. Not only does he go to Ukraine and tell them how and when they're going to have elections, he actually, and our government is telling Israel how to fight their war against Hamas and Gaza. We are actually trying to micromanage another country and how they fight war. Imagine if after 9/11, when we attacked a sovereign nation in Iraq with weapons of mass destruction, which never existed, imagine if another country stepped in and said, oh, America, here's the way you're going to fight that war, by the way. You're going to fight that war this way. Imagine if that happened, what we would say to that country. You're going to tell us how to fight a war? We are the king of fighting wars. We are the Muhammad Ali heavyweight champion of fighting. We're the Rocky Marciano, never lost a war until Vietnam, undefeated fighters. You're going to tell us that? Can you imagine? This is some of the nonsense that's going on. Haven't gone live in a while. I know a lot of people don't realize I still have a day job. I was in 5 courts in the last 3 days. No lie. I had a trial today. I've had all kinds of court stuff going on. Still run a law practice. Actually just initiated a huge lawsuit against a major city in the state of New Jersey on behalf of a client. Got a lot of stuff going on. Still doing my comedy. In fact, always check into my Facebook page, my Instagram page for dates and showtimes coming up. I will be back on Gutfeld May 24th. Now listen, stuff gets changed, everybody. I don't control the show. People get bumped. So right now I'm scheduled for May 24th and also June 19th. I can get bumped. So if I'm not on, I'll give you updates. Follow me, Instagram at Vince August, Facebook at Vince August, Twitter, X, it's called X, it's not Twitter, at Vince August 21, because I was Vince August. I got off because people just, I was annoyed with it and I had to get off during COVID. And then here, of course, on YouTube at Vince August. I will always check messages. I will always try to respond to comments. If you leave nasty comments, you get deleted. If you leave something that you disagree with me and you state a good reason why, I will more than likely engage with you. I am not always right. I am not Chris Cuomo. I get things wrong, and I apologize for them when I do get them wrong, because you know what? This notion that I'm never going to apologize, not me. You know what? Real men of honor apologize when we get things wrong. And I'm more than willing to do it. So if I got something wrong, please let me know. Let me give a quick look. I think we have a couple people checked in. I will check the comments later. I think that's all we got right now. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good night. I don't know how to get out of this thing.